Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to round number 3 of the 2024-2025 F1 Esports series. We're heading towards Bahrain, usually the season opener in F1 Esports, but I guess since it has changed in real F1, they decided to move it back in the F1 Esports calendar as well, and we're heading out for our first Q1 run. I had some questions last time that I want to answer. One was, why are you blocking out your ERS? One very simple reason for that: on the F1 Esports build, the ERS modes are different to what there is in the standard build. So first of all, rival F1 Esports teams and drivers will be able to see what I was doing with the ERS modes. Second of all, it will be useless for you guys, and if anything, might put you off more, because if you try and replicate what we are doing in this build with the ERS, then that's not going to work in the standard build. So yeah, that's why that was changed. Then another question I saw was why, or not why, but if it was possible for me to post the standings. I can once every 4 races, because after every F1 Esports event the standings were posted, but after some races they were not. So I felt like, to keep it consistent, I can do it once every 4 races, and then maybe 2-3 races from the end I will see if I can find something on the streams to show the standings in like around 9, 10, 11 and heading into the last round of 12. So yeah, that is that. As you can see, warming up our tires nicely before we start our last flying lap. Now, I remember last time out in China there was this slipstreaming fest, and yeah, the race director was very clear for this qualifying session: if you slipstream or try and start close behind someone, then that's gonna be a penalty. I think the minimum was a 2-second gap, which at that point I think you're not getting a slipstream anymore. So everyone was quite safe with that, and I think everyone, as you can see on the minimap, is leaving a 3-second gap more or less. So heading into turn number 1, braking at just past 100 meters and down to third gear, short shifting to fourth. Actually, that was not much of a short shift, but you can short shift to fourth and start using the overtake button maybe a little bit earlier, but of course, tricky one, really wide there into turn number 4 for us. A lot of understeer on the entry of the curb, and now into sector 2 we go. It looks like Barry Bormond is on P1 with a 26.1 at the moment, and that is not a bad lap time. I think that's going to be enough to make it into Q2 already. Again, an apex miss from us, and so far this season, in the first 2 rounds, we've been able to make it into Q2 on a single set of tires, but this lap, it looks like that's not going to happen. Again, we missed the apex completely, understeering wide, and yeah, we're 110 up on Joris cruising there as we head into the final sector. So yeah, we're going to need a lot more. That lap time from Joris cruising is not good either. That's a 0.7. So if we're 110 up on that and we do a 0.5, we're like 4 tenths away from P1, and there's no way that is going to be enough to make it into Q2. We do a 26.516, which is around 4 tenths of the pace, so we're going to have to go again here, and the pressure is on. We are pretty much last out of everyone. However, as we move on to the final lap, you can see we are 3.3 tenths up as we head into the final sector, and 2.6 tenths up on Brandon Lee, who is in P16 at the moment. So we just need to keep it on the island here in this last sector, and then we should be able to quite comfortably make it into Q2 here. Again, quite safe through the final corner, and nonetheless we gained a lot to our delta across the line. It is going to be P2 with a purple last sector, 400ths behind P1, and that was a crucial one, because otherwise we would have been out in Q1 and yeah, starting in the bottom 5. So Freddie Rasmussen, our teammate, in P6. I'm not sure exactly who the people were that made it through on a single set of tires. Istvan Pukki in P16, Duncan Hovland P17, Brendan Lee P18, Joris Kroes in P19, and Jonny Tormela in P20. So into Q2 we go then. And this is our first new tire run of Q2. I didn't do a used tire run at the start of Q2. I felt like there was not enough time to comfortably make it. There was enough time to make it, but I felt like I would have perhaps had to sacrifice my tire rump a little bit, and I didn't want to do that. However, that first lap was terrible again, at 26.188. That was a tenth slower than what I did at the end of Q1, and the track is a lot faster. So into turn 1 we go. As you can see, gained quite a lot on entry there, almost 1/10 up as we open the DRS for the second time in this lap into turn number 4. Remember, here we made a big mistake in Q1. This time we don't. We get the apex nicely, and we get a good exit. Another 300 gain as we head into sector 2. This one is very, very tricky. Big bump on the apex of the first one, and then we head into this downhill right-hander. Important to get some good rotation and good traction. A little bit of time loss, a little bit under the limit as we head into the also difficult double left-hander. Brakes really late, a little bit deep, but we carry the speed and we gain 200s. DRS open again as we head into another fast left-hander. Important to get the front in and carry a lot of speed as we head through into the final sector of this lap. 1.7 tenths up, and it's been a tidy lap so far. A little bit of understeer as we head through into the final sector, and now it all depends, can we get this final corner right? Very, very difficult one. We're gonna carry a lot of speed in, a little bit wide and a little bit of a moment, unfortunately, and that costs us 2, 3, maybe 400s up to the line we're gonna go. It is at 25.995, purple last sector, and it is P8 at the moment with still lots of people to finish the lap, so it all depends on what the others are gonna do now. You can see our teammate Freddie Rasmussen 8/1000ths of a second behind us. 2 people still to finish the laps. We're down to P10 with Thomas Gal, final one to cross the line, and unfortunately we have been bumped out just about by 3/1000ths of a second. And that final mistake, tiny little mistake in the final corner that cost us 4 or 500ths, was the difference between making it through and not. Might have actually been the difference between P2 and P11 here, but that's how close it is. You might be sitting at home thinking, why did he not just take that final corner a little bit more careful? And you just can't in this grid. You just have to attack incredibly hard in every single corner, otherwise you're not making it through. And at the same time, if I drove that corner under the limit, we would have not made it as well. So yeah, you have to push every single corner and hope the car hangs on. And it did, up until we got a little snap of oversteer. So yeah, perhaps we lacked a little bit of pace in quali, but the race is going to be completely different again. We're going to be starting on the hard compound of tires here in round number 3 of F1 Esports. You see Ulas was yielded in P9 on the softs and Nicolas Longe behind us in P13 on the mediums. It's lights out and away we go for round number 3 of the F1 Esports series. You got Nicolas Longe right behind us with a lot better tires. I reckon mediums definitely better than the hards, but obviously you are kind of stuck with the tire wear later on in this race, because I think everyone wants to use the softs at some point, and that just becomes really tough if you're doing a medium soft strategy, because then you have to box quite early for that final stint. Anyway, lost 1 position to Istvan Pukki, who started P16 on the mediums. And yeah, has had a great start, up to P10 already. We've got Nicolas Longe down our inside. We're not gonna fight this too hard because we can't. I'm going down the inside here just to use up the space. He turns in a bit early there, especially considering we were, yeah, always gonna lose the position under traction because of the tighter line. But P13 it is, so 2 positions lost, but those two positions are towards medium tire runners. So yeah, the question now is, have they made the better strategy choice or not? I was quite confident about starting on the hards and not going for the mediums, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how this race pans out. The opening lap done then. 2 positions lost. Alfie goes a little bit wide in the final corner, and you can see how much more grip those mediums have for now. Ismail Fassi I think, leading the race once again, unfortunately. And yeah, lap 4 now. We got Otis Lawrence behind us. Not sure where he started. And then our teammate Freddie Rasmussen in P15. Into turn 1 we're going to go. Going a little bit down the inside. I get boxed in a little bit there. Otis goes around the outside. And he squeezed a little bit. But nothing crazy. Up into turn 4. We're going to use our battery to stay ahead of Otis here. Using the crazy steering technique to slow down the car more. And in P13 we stay. For now, we're going to have to cover off the next corner a little bit. So Otis doesn't get by again. He sends it around the outside again. And once again, we're going to fight this hard. Because we're on the same strategy here. So P13 it is. And yeah, would love to make some inroads at some point to the cars ahead. We got Alfie Butcher ahead on the same strategy, then Danny Beresnay on the same strategy, and Nicolas Longuet in P10 on a different strategy. And now Freddie behind us gets a great opportunity at overtaking Otis, because Otis was attacking us the whole time, draining his battery, and now, yeah, he's gonna be under pressure from Freddie. And as you can see, as we head towards lap 7, Freddie did get past Otis there. You can see Ulas flashing coming out the final corner. I think he has no battery left and a broken front wing, so his race is pretty much over. And he's gonna have to make a pit stop, change his wing as well. And yeah, he's a long way from home. Anyway, P12 it is then. Lap 10, end of lap 10. We're gonna try and go for a move on Alfie Butcher. We're struggling a little bit on balance. He's been all race struggling a little bit, but I think that's also a little bit the nature of the track. Very slidey, hardest compound of tire, and quite a lot of tire wear. So into P11 we go, braking deep to not run into the back of Danny, but I got a moment. And P11 it is, back where we started. I was thinking about going for a little move there, perhaps into turn number 4 though, but yeah, we need to charge our battery at some point as well. Alfie is going for it again in lap 14, attacking us back. We defend the inside. Alfie goes for the switchback and gets a good run on us into turn number 4. We're gonna use a bit of our battery, but not too much into turn number 4. I didn't expect him to send it that hard. We go around the outside trying to get some clean air on our front wing, but he makes a great move. And now we have to recharge our battery a little bit again. And I think Alfie was just defending from Freddie behind and kind of got forced into overtaking us. But yeah, now he is going to be lower on battery. So I knew instantly, you know, he had to push so hard on the main straight. He had to push hard on the second straight. And that's going to give us the ERS advantage in this middle sector and for the rest of the lap. And that's why we're straight away going to go back at him into this next left-hander down the inside. He leaves us the space nicely, gets a little bit of understeer at the apex, and back up to P11 we go, behind Danny Beresnay now. This has actually been a great battle with Alfie for this entire lap, leaving each other enough space and not running each other off the road, no contact, all clean. Lap 18 now, and as you can see, at the end of this one, 11 laps to go. And we're currently in P2, but obviously we're going to drop really far down the grid because, yeah, we have gone really, really long into this first stint. Boxing behind Danny Beresnay, we are going to be on the same strategy. Everyone is going to be boxing for a set of the soft tires. Otis behind us as well.
And away we go. No problems, very smooth. Red Bull will no doubt be very happy with that stop.
Yeah, cheers, Crofty. Tom Manley leading the race right now. I think he started on the softs, went really long on the soft stint, and then boxed for mediums, I guess, or hards. I'm not sure. I guess it's mediums. But now we are right behind Danny Beresnay. We've got the freshest tires out of everyone ahead of us, apart from Danny Beresnay. And the thing is as well, we've got the freshest tires, and we're only 3 positions behind where we started. So we only have to overtake 3 cars in order to finish where we started. Obviously, we want a lot more. than P11 because we're not going to get any points for P11. So let's see if we can go for a move on Danny Bresnay as soon as possible. You can see how much later we are on the brakes in a double left-hander. We lose it on the exit, almost everything again. But straight away, we're going to go on the battery. I think Danny low on battery, and that's why he decided to let us go. And now we're going to push for DRS straight away. We're going to absolutely send it. And yeah, one lap later, we did get the DRS. However, now we have to recharge ourselves a little bit into turn number 1. Brendan Lee, I'm not sure when he boxed, but he's going on the attack against Nicolas Longuet. I think Longuet might have gotten wing damage there because there was definitely a lot of contact at turn number 1 there. And now we, yeah, there's nothing we can do here. They're going 3 wide into turn number 4, and Thomas has been hit. But I think Nicolas, and up to P12 we go. We've got 8.5 laps to go. I think I saw another piece of front wing fly there, as I almost ran into the back of Brendan, and Otis does the same. I had to avoid Otis there on the apex. Otherwise, we would have been spun around for sure. So, yeah, had to be careful there to not turn into Otis, who I think missed the corner, missed his braking point a little bit. Going on the attack on Brendan Lee now into the next left-hander. And yeah, we got a lot fresher tires. I think he knows that we're going to come through eventually. And yeah, we had to use quite a bit of our battery there to make that move. And now into the final sector we're going to go. Let's see if we can go for a move on Nicolas Longuet, who has wing damage, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that already. I think it's on the left-hand side. We go for a move into the final corner, and that was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake. We should have recharged our battery there, and now you can see we're going to be slightly low on battery. Let's see if we can just hang on to this position at least, or hang on to the position behind Nicolas. We go defensive, Nicolas goes defensive, and Nicolas missed his braking point, and if he had not lost his front wing yet, he definitely has now. Otis made it 3 wide there as well, which increased the chaos. We're going to go defensive against our old teammate Danny Bresnay. Into turn number 4 we go. There's a bit of contact, which sends us a little bit wide. We get squeezed onto the curb as well. And this is turning into a proper dogfight. I'm going to return the favor here because we got pushed wide in turn number 4. And we go side by side again into the next right. And a little bit of contact again. Just gives us a little bit of a moment, but it looks like it cost Danny a lot of momentum there on the exit. And we're down to P12 again. Otis up to P8. And yeah, that was such a big mistake. I just entered the straight with no battery left, and I should have just been more patient, but I wasn't. Lost my head, just being so focused on trying to get the win that, yeah, I forgot the main goal, which was just to overtake cars and drive our own race. We got defensive against Duncan Hovland here into the next left-hander. We went straight away on the attack as well. And yeah, now we have to defend from him. He squeezes a little bit to the inside. And we go side by side into this long right-hander. I leave him space on the exit. And we keep P12. I think Duncan realized quickly enough that he was going to run out of battery if he was going to fight this much longer. I'm not sure, but I think, you know, going for the move in the middle of the lap, yeah, cost him a lot of battery. And now we're gonna having a little look down the inside of Longuet. We defense it. However, we're gonna turn on the battery again. This time we do not enter the start-finish straight with 15% battery. You can see Nicolas Longuet flashing, which means he has no battery left. And up to P11 we go. You can see that front wing end plate missing. He sends it down the inside, and yeah, taps Alfie there. I was very, very lucky not to get damage there. Obviously not going to go for a mover on Alfie because we just half spun him around. We're just going to sit back for 1 or 2 laps. So we do not take any advantage of this. And yeah, P11 it is. Alfie has the fastest lap at the moment, so that's going to give him an extra point. We're not going to be able to beat it anymore because the tire wear is just too much around the track to still go for a fast lap. And you can see we're just in a train as well. Lucas ahead of us has some front wing damage as well, as you can see there on the front left end plate, and that's going to give us another position up to P10. We go into the points paying positions, and we can see P1 there, Otis in P7. He was one position behind us when we boxed. But yeah, the crucial mistake on the move with Nicolas Longue cost us a lot. Cost us a potential podium, I think so. But yeah, I think, you know, it's tough. You can't run a perfect season, but this was a big mistake, and this might cost us at the end of the year. I was trying to avoid a crash there because I thought someone was going to spin around, but no one spun around. So it looked really clumsy, but it was just to prevent myself from front wing damage. And you can see our teammate Freddie Rasmussen was having a really good race, but I think he was up to P5 or P4, but in his past 2 laps he's really dropped a lot. Alfie goes for the move in sector 3, and squeezes Freddie a little bit over the track. And yeah, I'm straight away going to go for the move on Freddie there into the final corner. We're straight away going for a move on Alfie Butcher into the final corner around the outside. He leaves us just enough racing room. No contact as well. And now we're going to go side by side into turn number 1. Let's see if we can get this moved on into turn number 1. We're straight away going to go for it on Otis Lawrence as well. We've got a lot of battery to play with. Otis misses the apex, sends it wide, or sends Thomas a little bit wide. But I think Otis was the main loser from that incident and cost himself 2 positions. So maybe loser is not the right word. I'm sorry. But yeah, he cost himself 2 positions there by sending it a little bit wide or deep into turn number 1. And now with 1.5 laps to go, we are in P7. Behind us, Alfie Butcher, who is going to get an extra point, of course, for the fastest lap in the top 10. He doesn't just have the overall fast lap, but really having the fastest lap in the top 10 is what counts. If someone would have boxed 2 laps ago and set a faster lap time outside of the top 10, that would not matter. So, yeah. Just recharging my battery a little bit here for the final lap. Realistically, we're not going to gain a lot of positions anymore here. We're looking at a P6 at best, unless there's going to be incidents or some heavy fighting going on. And that's why I'm just going to sit back here a little bit, not take too many risks. We already had a nearly race-ending crash in turn 1 by that Constantina effect. I think Alfie ran into the car ahead, which slowed him down a lot, and then both me and Longue could not stop the car in time because of that, I think it's called Constantina effect. However, we did not get wing damage, very luckily, from that. But yeah, let's see what we can do here in this final lap. We're going to turn on the overtake. I was thinking about a move into turn number 4, but we would have not been able to get that one done. And that's why, once again, just like everyone ahead of us, we're just going to recharge the battery here in the middle sector. And yeah, see if we can do something later on in this lap. Joshi though, we're going a little bit wide there. Struggling for tires probably at this point. And yeah, you can see Thomas going for it, and Josh in this double left-hander. This is not an easy corner to overtake, because if you're on the inside, you're always going to get a worse exit, and Josh has the slipstream, and that means Josh is going to stay ahead in P5. Now let's see if we can do something. Thomas obviously probably has used quite a bit of his battery there to go for that move, and that gives us a chance maybe in this double right-hander. I was thinking about it, but that would have been a huge dive home and a lot of risk for just 2 points. So let's see what we can do here. We're just gonna have a little look into the last corner. We're not close enough, but Thomas has gone wide. And we got some nice clean air on that exit as well. And as you can see there, we've got a lot more battery left, and we're gonna finish
on to the next one
in P6 on track, which moves to P5 due to a penalty of Istvan Pulki. I think that penalty got removed. But yeah, crazy race. Unfortunately, we got a 3 times 1 second penalty. One for an incident with Duncan, which was utterly bizarre that we got a penalty for that. But yeah, those penalties meant that we fell all the way down to P11, I think so. After all penalties were given. Obviously, we were not the only ones. And that means, yeah, P11 it is for us in this race, which means no points. Ismail Fassi scoring 18, which means he's going to be 18 points ahead of us. And here are the penalties that I received. That was a 1 second penalty, which is one of the most bizarre penalties I've ever received, to be honest. And this one is where we got a penalty for as well. Obviously, we got, you know, leaned on quite hard at the apex there. We just returned the favor here. No major damage done. And that little moment where I pushed Dani off the track was another 1 second penalty, which was quite interesting as well. Now, this one I very much do understand. This was penalty worthy. Obviously, I think Alfie did hit Josh as well, which was a concertina effect. So I kind of understand that one a lot more, because we nearly spun Alfie around, right? But yeah, then the day after, Ismail around Jeddah did the exact same thing. And he did not get a penalty, or he got given a penalty, and then that penalty got removed again. So, yeah, interesting stewards decisions, but we are very much used to that in sim racing. So it is what it is. No points this time around. We just have to deal with it and, yeah, be better, cleaner, faster than ever, because quite obviously we cannot let it come down to any stewarding decisions. But it is what it is. P11 it is. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.